Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Skills Go Up Devlog. Now, this is episode 6 in this series, and probably the last one for about a week or so. No guarantees, I might work on it more, but this is the last one of my vacation, at least. I'm going back to work, and we'll be a lot busier, and also working on the map editor in the future. But I still got a lot done since the last episode, more than I expected in some ways. So let's go ahead and take a look at what all we've added. Now, the first thing I've added is going to take a little bit of setup, so we'll just go over here and start chopping. So I did mention in the last episode that I wanted to work on stack size limiting, and I went ahead and did that. And ironically, I said I kept forgetting. I literally had to go back and rewatch the episode as soon as I finished recording it just to remember that I wanted stack size limiting. But as you can see, I have limited logs to 16 per stack, so it started a new stack. As far as I can tell, it works perfectly everywhere. It works with the crafting, it works with the bank, it works with the shop. It should just work. A lot of it worked automatically, honestly. The biggest thing was just making sure it goes to multiple stacks and the bank deposit all and everything. But as far as I can tell, support is complete for stack size limiting. And it even lets you, everything now has a limit because there is a maximum integer limit, and it lets you hit that limit. If you somehow got 2.1 billion of an item, it would start a new stack. So that's pretty good, even for stackable items. Helps out a lot, I guess, if our game ever gets to that point. I don't know. Next thing you can actually see on this screen, we have item count shortening and formatting. So now, whenever you have something that is 10,000 or higher, it gets shortened to the K symbol for thousands. Millions and billions, same difference, except we don't wait for 10, we just do it with 1. And I will have to deposit one of these real quick. Deposit 1. We also have the comma for the thousands place. And in situations where it shows the full number elsewhere, for example, if we examine the item now and it's been shortened, it will say the stack size, and that uses the commas as well. So very convenient there. Just kind of makes it more obvious when you have a lot of something. I also tweaked the shading on the numbers a bit. It's not perfect yet. I don't like it because obviously this 1M is kind of fading into the item. Part of that will just be item sprite design to not make it overlap with the numbers too much. But another bit is I could probably do another pass on this text to give it a better design. But nevertheless, that is what we got there. This next one, though, we will have to go ahead and grab some seeds real quick. So I'm just going to grab one of each. I'm going to grab a shovel and get stuck on that. And we are going to plant these for later. But anyway, okay, this guy is annoying me. Let me go get a spell real quick. Kill him. There we go. Anyway, so after that, oh right, I added smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And now we have animated smoke, which is pretty good. And we also have these guys murdering me, so I'm just gonna get rid of them real quick. All right, so yeah, it's just a little effect. It makes things look nice. You can actually kind of see what I'm going to show you with the plants already. I do need to fix the depth on these. But yeah, plants are animated now with this little swaying in the wind animation. They're also all dying because they're stupid and don't know how to survive. So we're going to do this. It's also because I didn't set them up very well. Spring water. Yes, that is the spell. Really, that guy got diseased again, and I shot a fireball at it. Anyway, so yes, that is that. Next up, we have the vertical log shortcut. It's just a vertical version of the other one. It was a little more work than I expected to make it work, but it does work. So that's pretty good, I guess. Next up, I added a lot of decorations. So we kind of need to go around here. I've got this pile of rocks, this animal burrow, this tall grass, these wildflowers. I've got this, this is kind of meant to be like stuff that's washed up on a shore of a beach. We don't have beaches yet, but we have that. And then the same difference, we have a pile of leaves here. We have fallen logs, both vertical and horizontal. Down at the bottom there, you can see we've got a pile of shells for a beach. And we got a mossy rock here. And then you might notice some of the trees have holes that sparkle every once in a while. That's for the new foraging skill. It doesn't do anything yet, but the idea is that whenever there's a little sparkle, you'll be able to find an item in there for the foraging skill, which the foraging skill is right here. There it is. It's got 3 actual unlocks, which is these bushes over here, which you can just forage. And yeah, that's pretty good. Foraging, I was worried foraging would be a pretty simplistic skill, but I've actually fleshed it out pretty good in the design documents. So I'm excited to build the actual world map so that I can add the foraging techniques that we will have in the game. I've added a bunch of test items, actually, for foraging. We can go in here and find a bunch of them somewhere. Yeah, here they are. So we have egg, bird nest, honeycomb, shell, roots, mushroom, clover, sap, snail, beetle, pine cone, cork bark, acorn, moss, 4-leaf clover, dandelion, ladybug, snake skin, cattail, antler shed, bones, fish bones, pearl, oyster, sand dollar, starfish, crab, kelp, and seaweed. I added all those. Most of them don't do anything quite yet, but the idea is they'll be crafting materials or they'll be brewing materials, things of that nature. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty good skill, I think, actually. Shockingly enough. Oh, I gotta kill these guys. Get out of here. All right, what next? What next? So we've done that. Oh, did the plants grow? Yeah, they grow. So now you can see what the grown plants look like swaying in the wind. It's just a nice little effect using shaders, which I didn't realize shaders could do this. YouTube randomly suggested a short to me about this in Godot, and I was like, wait a second, and really quickly looked up if it could be done in GameMaker. It can, so I did it. I may or may not apply something similar to other plants in the future, but for now it's only the farming plants just because it kind of looks good with them. Anyway, all right. What else? Right, spell info panel. We went to spells earlier, but yeah, now spells have an info panel that shows if they have a metal shard cost, because that's a thing that we have now. And yeah, just in general, it gives you a little bit of information about how the spell works, and it'll give more information in the future. This is just the first pass. All right, let me look at my list here. Right, improved skill guides. So I have improved skill guides. Now, we're still doing the thing where we're like using levels to show stuff just because I don't have anything to put in there yet. But you can see at the top now, we can have notes. So we can say, like, for accuracy, it says each level equals +1 targeting range, because that's how accuracy works. So it's just a nice little feature. And I have been working at making some of the skill guides more like actual skill guides and not just random information. But it's not a high priority thing. Anyway, so the next thing, Pico conduit. That is what it is. This is the bank. Let me get my Pico conduit. There we go. So the Pico conduit is a way for you to check what Pico energy is available in an area. Now, it does require level 30 manifesting to use, so we will fix that real quick. Now we can detect. You can see it's 100% basic shards here, but if we head on over to our other spot of the map, you can see that it tells you the exact percentage chance of getting each one. Minus, of course, the Omni Shard, which is a non-standard drop. But yeah, it's just a useful tool, and I'll probably make it where you can equip it or something. Maybe you just use it from the action bar. I don't know. Make it convenient somehow to go around and be checking stuff. And I've thought about adding a higher tier that checks like maybe slightly to the north, west, east, and south and tells you if they're different. I'm not sure if I'll do that yet. But it is at least in the list of things to think about in the future. The next thing is projectile collisions. So I had a lot of issues with the collision code because I was just kind of piecemealed it together. But now projectiles all have the same collision code shared, and they can collide with most things. However, some things like this fire is now solid, but projectiles can pass through it because I have a hidden variable for each object that says how tall it is. And if it's under a certain height, then it allows projectiles and telegrab to pass over it. And I'm thinking about adding a certain height where even blink could pass over it, like 0.1 high. So maybe you could have like a trap on the ground that is solid, but you can blink over it. So that's a thought for the future. Next thing we've added, got to go back into the bank. We've added just an entire set of bronze items, kind of decided what I think the set of items will be for each tier. So you got sword, dagger, helmet, plate body, plate legs, boots, gauntlets, scimitar, warhammer, battle axe, round shield, kite shield, spear, long sword, great sword, and then a ball bearing, which we'll come back to later. But the interesting thing is some of these items have another new feature, which is the attack size. So you can see the spear has a long, skinny one. That just has that one. And that has a big, fat one. So yeah, different weapons have different attack sizes now, which is a very cool thing. We also have multi-slot items. So the greatsword specifically is a two-handed item. So if you have a shield equipped, it will unequip the shield. Pretty simple stuff, but it was something we had to add support for. And it did take a bit of work, really. More than you would expect. All right, next up. So the use for the ball bearing is this. So let's go ahead and grab the ones in my bank. So you make ball bearings with a ball bearing mold. And you make, I think, 30 at a time. Let's just equip them. It's just another standard weapon. As you can see, it fires. It has a very fast fire rate. Pretty low damage. And yeah, it's just the logical extension of us already having a slingshot in the game. Gives a use for the metals. We can come on over here. Right, no, it's in casting. Oh, I can access casting from the side. I didn't know that. But yeah, this is where you make them all. You can see it requires the ball bearing mold. Now, there is one exception, which is there is no crafting recipe for titanium ball bearings because they don't make much sense because ball bearings get their power from their weight, mostly. You want something that's tough, but you definitely want something that's heavy. So having the light metal as a ball bearing doesn't make sense. The item does still exist, though. It's just you won't find the crafting recipe in here. I have another use planned for it in the future, so that is something to look forward to. Maybe in a couple weeks I'll have a test for that use. I'm not entirely sure. Get rid of this guy. Okay, so what else? We're actually running out of things to talk about. It's not a long video today. The last thing is I did add quartz ring and quartz necklace and redid the necklace graphics to not suck quite so much. Now it's actually just a circle, which makes a lot more sense. I was worried it would just look like an upside down ring, and in some ways it does, but making it thicker, I think, at least differentiates it, even if you could just flip it upside down and look like a ring again. But nevertheless, we have that. They don't really do anything yet. The idea is that there will be some enchanting properties to putting gems on necklaces and rings, and I can go ahead and add the rest of them at any point. It just only started with the first two because why not? But yeah, so that is basically where we're at in terms of everything. Let's see, I'm going to look through my list. Yeah, nope. We got everything. Oh, did I mention the leaf pile? I'm sure I mentioned the leaf pile. Yeah, that is everything we added. So, like I said in the previous video, the plan right now is for the next week, I will be working on a map editor. Now, if I finish it early, then I can get back to working on the game. If I take longer on it, well, that sucks. And I'll probably not be able to resist working on the game at least a little bit next week, regardless. But the focus is supposed to be get a functioning map editor so that we can get out of this test room. I can build a starting town, you know, put the Book of Words quest in place in an actual thing, make it function as a proper mini quest, add in another quest I have an idea for, add a tutorial, you know, make it an actual game, you know, maybe put a grass background in it. That would be nice, wouldn't it? This black background gets a bit old after a while. But yeah, I'm very happy though with where we're at in terms of game design, like the amount of features, the amount of polish on those features, the actual display, the graphics, completely unpolished. But in terms of like, if I want to add something new, a lot of times the features just already there for it. You know, I just need to add a new menu option, use some existing code, and we're there. We got a lot of stuff working that I would not have expected to get done so fast. And soon I will be able to focus more on the fun part of just putting everything in, and the less fun part of balancing everything after I put it in the game. That's going to be a nightmare, but that's a problem for the future. I'm going to have to do a lot of math to figure out the leveling numbers in the near future, figure out how much XP. I want it to be an exponential XP curve, but not too rough. But obviously, since XP can also go up with level, you can balance it. It's its whole thing. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode where we will hopefully be doing some mapping. Bye!